That is the hardest part of that ring.
For the hardest part of the ring.
Hello and welcome to episode number 33 of Hardest Part of the Ring, the podcast where four friends get together to discuss the wonder of professional wrestling. And what a lovely evening it is. We get to sit inside and talk about wrestling when the sun's out after spending the last 2 evenings sat inside watching wrestling.
Yes.
This is our life now.
Love of the game.
Yeah. No Sam today, but John is here.
Hello.
And Brett is also here.
Hello.
Hello.
Is this the time for full disclosure?
Why? What's happened?
Yeah.
Have you
Straight
killed Sam?
in, off the bat.
I killed Sam.
Hooray!
No.
You just became the biggest baby face of this pod, bro.
Oh, Sam. We miss you, really. I watched but was drawing the cover art for this episode. So I did watch all of night one. I watched night two, but did not give it my full attention. So there may be gaps when you're talking about moments.
That's all right. That's all right. As long as the art's good. We haven't seen it yet, but obviously the listeners can lift up their phones now and see. Who have you drawn? Pete Dunne?
Pete Dunne. Yeah.
Pete Dunne. Yes. Nice to have the opportunity to draw him, I bet.
It was. Actually, this episode was one where there was lots of people. I was like, oh, I've got a chance to draw this person or that person.
Yeah. I imagine like drawing someone like Zach Gibson would be pretty easy. Just
quite cool as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe next time.
Dave Mastin would be good as well, like no neck, just
Yes, so we are here to talk about the WWE UK Championship Tournament. Obviously, this is our second podcast this week, which I don't think we've done before. On Monday, we released our interview with Josh from Riptide Wrestling, so please go and have a little listen to that if you haven't already. There was a little giveaway in there as well, which I'll give more information on later. But we have got a shed load to get through, so let's get straight into it.
Let me tell you guys, that's the hardest part of the ring right there. That's where that steel goes down and a lot of, I'm going to tell you, you don't want to land right there.
WWE United Kingdom Championship Tournament 2018, probably the longest name of an event that we've had to review so far. Took place at the Royal Albert Hall in London, of course, on Monday and Tuesday of last week. If I was a real pro, I'd have the dates, but I can't quite remember. I'm really excited about this because we get to discuss UK talent, and that's something that we pretty much never get to do, right?
not in detail, I guess.
Yeah.
It was weird seeing them in this setting, though. Do you not think? I felt felt strange.
Yes,
very strange.
Yeah, I did. It was odd.
It was really odd,
especially Gibson. Actually, it felt so weird seeing him in the WWE ring.
Yeah, I think, but particularly because of the last tournament, the last UK tournament, before Tyler Bate became champ, I wasn't watching a huge amount of the indie stuff. I'd got back into WWE, but I wasn't watching much indie, so I didn't really know anybody. Yeah. But with all of these guys, we've seen them. We've seen them at Progress or Riptide or on-demand services and stuff. So yeah, it really was quite weird. And that's actually one of the main notes I had, is like how strange it must have been for the indie guys to have to adapt to TV matches. Having to, there were a few times when you saw Zach Gibson changing the way that he was doing his pin, like turning around so he was facing the hard camera.
Yeah.
And obviously allowing the time for the replays and stuff like that. So
there was a moment outside the ring as well where it felt very WWE and less indies, didn't it? With the barricades and stuff.
Yeah, totally. It must have been a joy to have padded flooring outside.
Oh yeah. I wonder if they were in the foyer of the Royal Albert Hall selling T-shirts afterwards, though.
Yeah, probably not.
I doubt it. I doubt it somehow. Okay, so obviously this event did take place over 2 nights at the Royal Albert Hall. We're going to talk about both nights, but there's loads of matches, so we're going to skip through a few of them, be quite brief on quite a few of them, and go more in depth on the bigger ones or our favourite ones. So obviously we were lucky to have Mauro Ranallo on comms with Nigel
McGuinness.
Thank you so much. My mind went completely blank. because Mauro wasn't at NXT TakeOver, was he? And they said, he's on assignment.
Yeah.
And I thought, poor, maybe he's suffering.
Yeah, I thought that as well.
But perhaps they sent him to the UK early. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
But then Nigel was also at TakeOver and the event.
I mean, Morello was great. He was on form. Crowd loved him as well.
Yeah. You say he was on form, but one of the first things he said was "Cheerio" from the crown jewel of concert halls. Hold on, it's just started. You can't say goodbye.
I don't know.
They use that snip every time at the start of each episode, which is a bit weird.
I don't know if it was if they are saying it correctly, but it was just every time, whether it was HBK or Ronaldo saying Royal Albert Hall and never saying the Royal Albert Hall. Just like every time they said it, it felt weird. It's like we're in Royal Albert Hall rather than we're in the Royal Albert Hall. It was like, why can't they say the?
Yeah, they just don't get it.
What an incredible venue, though! Like, especially to watch wrestling.
Yeah, it looked
I don't
stunning.
think it came across that well on TV, actually.
No, I wonder if it felt like they didn't spend perhaps as much money, or perhaps they were too restricted, so they couldn't do certain things inside the hall. But just like like the entrance part and everything, it just felt really low key for WWE.
Yeah. That's true. They had some standing on the stage, didn't they? Which
there was always
cut off half of the screen.
There was this always weird walk-in as well for each of the guys, because there was no like curtain or anything for them to come through. So it was like, I'm going to walk into the side, and now's my cue. It's weird.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I mean, the few times I've been to gigs at the Royal Albert Hall, I haven't been able to afford to get decent seats, so I've been right up in the rafters. But actually, right up there is really cool, and you get an amazing view of the whole venue. And I would have thought maybe they would have put a camera up there or something. But
yeah, just to show it off.
Yeah. Anyway, we have got some wrestling matches to talk about. We should probably
the
get
next
into
30
it.
minutes on the venue.
Yes. So night one, there was a dark match to start off with, which I found out about on Wikipedia. It was Amir Jordan, and he beat Joseph Connors.
Nice.
Okay, I'm not a big fan of either of those guys, actually.
Well, a pretty good win, I'd say, for Amir, but I suppose if it's a dark match, doesn't mean much. And then we had the only four quarter-final matches for the UK Championship Tournament. Obviously, the earlier matches, the earlier rounds had taken place at the Download Festival. So the four quarterfinals were Jack Gallagher versus Zach Gibson, Joe Coffey versus Dave Mastiff, Flash Morgan Webster versus Jordan Devlin, and Travis Banks versus Ashton Smith. Any highlights in particular from those matches?
Yeah,
I thought Jack Gallagher was good, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I forget how good he is.
I thought that first match actually was, turned out to be my highlight match of the weekend.
Yeah,
surprisingly, I saw more of Gibson than I've ever seen on the Indies.
Yeah,
in like his repertoire as well, whether that was who he's against. And obviously Jack Gallagher's great, getting to be in a proper match with none of the silly stuff.
Yeah, I haven't been watching 205 Live, but it was nice to see him not in a suit.
Yes.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I think I saw someone comment, obviously he's a heel in 205 Live, isn't he? So there's a lot of sort of the fun stuff that he does that he hasn't been doing on 205. So, perhaps he's going to go the other way. It looks like he's going to be a part of the roster. He came out with everybody on the second night.
I really hope so.
Yeah.
He's such a talent, and he's not that he's wasted necessarily on 205 Live, but I don't watch it, so it'd be great. I'd definitely watch the UK NXT though.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah, if anything, there's no chance I'm going to watch any 205 Live now. If we're going to have NXT UK to watch.
We should also say Joe Coffey is a beast.
Yeah.
In that,
he's really beefed up, it feels like, over the last sort of year or two.
Yeah, those like sequence of different suplexes he was doing on Mastiff, unbelievable.
Yeah, it was quite cool to see Joe Coffey and Dave Mastiff, because they're two they were quite regular on the early days of Progress, especially Mastiff.
Yeah.
And now they're fairly absent. You don't really see them. And I know Joe Coffey's been big on ECW, and they both appear in loads of other places, but yeah, it was quite cool to see them again properly.
Hi. I'm Apron, the hardest part of the ring robot. Adam is a dick. He said ECW when he meant IPW. What an idiot. It's a wrestling podcast, for fuck's sake, it doesn't get much easier.
I've got a bit of a soft spot for Mastiff. I quite like
Yeah.
For such a big dude, he's really good, I think.
Yeah.
Just quickly on Gibson, I was wondering going into this, like how the crowd were going to react to him, because obviously in the Indies, he's a heat magnet. I was wondering, but it's quite a weird heat because it feels a bit hateful, the whole Scouser thing. Like you just
yeah, totally.
But still got loads of heat here, loads and loads of heat.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one of the biggest not problems, but shames in my eyes is that he didn't get to do a promo.
He's so good
on either night. He's so close. Like he got the mic, didn't he, on the second night, or was it the first
end of the first
on the
night,
first night at the end?
Yeah.
And then Pete Dunne came out and ruined it. And then in the final match, obviously he sort of said a few things out loud, and there was a little tease of what he's capable of. But I thought they might give him a go, but maybe they're not going to do that. I mean, for me, that is his main strength on the indies. I've never really rated him that much as a wrestler. I think he's good. He knows what he's doing, but he doesn't stand out for me. It was his promos and his whole character that made him stand out.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I've never really connected with him much in the ring necessarily.
Yeah.
The boos are the loudest noise for Zach Gibson that I ever hear anywhere.
That's
so
true.
loud.
Yeah, seriously loud. Crap entrance music, right, for everybody? So far. Generic.
Awful.
I didn't bother trying to figure out what it was, but just like Tyler Bates is like, a rip-off, Zach Gibson's was a total rip-off of some popular tune as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And I noticed at least Flash Morgan Webster had the In Mod We Trust before.
Yeah.
So, something linking to his past.
He looked great in this whole tournament, Flash.
Yeah. Those high knees he was hitting.
Yeah, really good.
Like that one on Devlin that he really sold, like with his head flipping up and spitting the gum out sort of stuff. Just looked sweet.
He seemed like he was really trying,
which
was quite sort of charming in a way. Like he really wanted to prove himself, and he is a very good wrestler.
Yeah.
I thought that his match with Devlin was great, but I mean Devlin was good as well, but it feels like it's not the same Devlin we've seen on the indie scene necessarily. Like he's been tearing it up the few times I've seen him at Progress.
Yeah,
I was thinking that a bit of most of the people in this tournament, I have to say.
Well, obviously the problem we had was that they had 4 quarterfinals on this first night and then the semis, so they were pretty quick matches. The way that they were paced, and also, they were having to save themselves a little bit, knowing that they were going to have to wrestle later. Apart from Flash, I think Flash gave it his all throughout, but yeah, they were quite short matches.
I almost wish that they'd have spread the tournament over the 2 days. Like have some of it at the start of the second. I mean, even so the finalist is going to go on to that match, the title match at the end of the night. I think that's enough break between to have decent length matches.
Yeah, you would have thought the semis would be on night 2, just because this is the championship tournament, and then on the second night they had one match from that tournament. It was the final.
Yeah.
But what about the chant for Jordan Devlin of "Your head's too big for you"? That is totally unnecessary, right? It's not even funny, is it?
I didn't notice
No,
that.
not really. No, I didn't hear it.
Yeah, I think it's a bit personal, a bit unnecessary, but anyway.
I mean, we've been at a Riptide once when there's chant started about Chris Brooks' nipples.
Yeah, that was strange, and we are all massive,
Nipples fans.
voyeurs when it comes to wrestlers' nipples. So yeah, I thought it was quite good to see Mark Parry, Paz, and Joel Allen from the 2 refs that ref regularly at Progress, also making an appearance.
I did spot Paz.
Didn't notice them at all. Never noticed a referee. I have a quick question about the Banks-Smith match.
Yes.
I've never heard of Aston Smith.
He was in the first tournament, wasn't he?
Nor had most of the crowd by the sounds of things when he walked out.
I think he was in the first tournament, though, I'm sure.
Was he?
Yeah.
Where's he wrestle, though?
I've no idea. Up north, probably.
I actually Googled him during the match, just to see if I could quickly get a couple of promotions he's wrestled at. And I did it on my phone because I was watching the wrestling on my laptop. And nothing came up. He doesn't have a Wikipedia. I mean, there were some videos, but I didn't delve too deep, so I can't give you anything on him. I'm sure there'll be a listener out there who knows him very well and can tell us more. But yeah, who knows who he is. Sorry, Ashton.
I mean, he put a good show. It wasn't bad necessarily. It's just never heard of him.
Yeah. So we should point out that from those quarterfinals, Zach Gibson beat Jack Gallagher. Joe Coffey beat Dave Mastiff. Flash Morgan Webster beat Jordan Devlin, and Travis Banks beat Ashton Smith.
Just quickly, who was your guys' match of the quarters?
Of those ones, it was Jack Gallagher versus Gibson.
Jack v Zach.
Yes. Should have said that, shouldn't I?
I think I'd probably go for Flash Devlin.
I think I'll go Jack Gibson as well, actually.
Okay.
All good solid matches, though.
Yeah. The next match was a shame, really, because it was weird, because it was all the graphics and the commentator was saying it was a triple threat, and then as the wrestlers came out, the ring announcer said, the next fatal four-way. And then I thought,
what?
hold on a minute. Yeah. And I thought, oh yeah, Ginny was supposed to be in this. Wasn't she? And it turned out that Ginny was in it, and she just took a really bad bump early on in the match and went off injured. And they decided to start it again as a triple threat.
Oh, this match felt weird. I want to know that's why.
Sort
Felt
of
very disjointed. It's quick.
Yeah, it was really quick, considering I doubt they needed to be. But perhaps that was why.
Yeah. But how bad is that? You know, Ginny's just come back from a really long layoff, and she's got her chance. And I don't even know, the thing that she did to get the bump might have been amazing, but we didn't even get to see her. We didn't even get told that she was supposed to be in it. She got no airtime at all.
Wasn't she also meant to be in the Mae Young Classic but got injured? Is that right?
No, that was the one who's in NXT now, the Welsh one with the Shyness Wizard.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, Nixon Mule.
Yeah.
Or I'm not sure what her name is now.
Yeah, Nixon Mule.
Yeah. I did think in this match, though, Isla Dawn is someone who's also new to me, and I thought she was really good. She
took some great bumps, like selling like a champ.
Yeah, John, she was at Progress. She was one of the women who came in and...
is she on the 70s
wrestled the match. Yeah, but they gave her a 70s name and we didn't know who she was.
I thought she looked good in this.
Yeah, so this match, it was Toni Storm, Killer Kelly and Isla Dawn. We'll be brief on it. Toni Storm won it in the end with a Storm Zero, aka the Strong Zero, which they've renamed for some reason. I think it's because the Strong Zero is actually a soft drink in Japan.
Okay.
That's just what I'm taking from Storm's Instagram. Any other points about that match before we move on?
No. Good. Quick.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Next up, Triple H made his appearance from Massive Pop as expected. The whole crowd singing along to his entrance music. And we had the announcement that NXT UK is here and Johnny Saint is the GM. Initial thoughts?
Excited. And a little bit...
excited?
I'm excited. I am excited. I'm a little bit nervous just because WWE have a long storied history of going into promotions and basically taking over and destroying them.
Yeah. Also,
look at WCW, ECW.
I have no idea how this is going to work either. I know, like, they announced a number of dates, but as for TV or who's in it or how, you know, like the crossover with, for example, Mustache Mountain and being in NXT, you know, over in the States, or being, you know, will they still be jumping around the place? Will they be just assigned here now?
It
we don't know.
feels, yeah, because they're doing tours.
Yeah.
It feels like it's going to be almost like a season thing.
Is it?
So then maybe there'd be
just
like 12 episodes and then a long break.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering how they would do it, and I thought they'd have to have like a regular venue somewhere, and I was trying to think where they could do it. I was like, oh, maybe they could use York Hall, but obviously Rev Pro would be pissed about that. Or there's not that many venues in the UK I think they would be able to use on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Like they do
They'd
for
want
NXT.
to get their own place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, let's focus on the positive. Yeah, it is really cool because we do, you know, for its problems, we do love WWE.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
let's face
definitely.
it.
Yeah.
We do love it. And we love the indies. And we want to see some of our favourites get a chance to wrestle.
Yeah, totally.
For WWE. So it's
and
cool.
NXT is the best thing that, you know, WWE put out. So
exactly. And if you think, hopefully, you know, some of the same writers and producers will be involved.
Hopefully that translates.
And it's great that they are touring it around the country and they're going to all these places that, you know, all of the old British wrestlers would have gone to in the old days. I hadn't thought about the fact that it's maybe because they can't find a permanent location, but it's still a cool thing.
I think it's just, I hope that they figure out the the setup inside for the venue so it can feel the same, you know?
Yes.
So it doesn't feel a bit hodgepodge.
Yeah, I bet they will. They'll have all the same gear.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be no expenses spared. It's not going to look clunky, I wouldn't think.
Also, does this mean we're never going to see those wrestlers at Riptide?
Well, this is the big question, isn't it? How is this going to affect the UK indies?
As far as like I've been seeing so far, it seems like Rev Pro and is it Defiant
Yeah.
are the main people that are going to suffer from this purely because of the New Japan connection, I think. Although I don't know, does Defiant have that? What does I know Rev Pro does. But that's the main issue there, isn't it?
Yeah, there are all sorts of weird little issues, you know. With WWE have obviously got relationships with it's ICW in Scotland, and then Progress, obviously. So those guys, it's going to be great because as we've seen with the Progress relationship, you know, not only will the UK guys be able to still wrestle on Progress, but you know, if they'll be able to parade WWE titles. And in terms of the Progress guys, it's working out brilliantly for them. And did you notice the bit where they interviewed Johnny Saint and it was Glenn Joseph?
Oh no,
he was the guy. He was asking the question. You could only hear his voice.
Oh no, I didn't.
But you know, he's just getting to do that little job there. And there's a lot of talk about the fact that they may well, you know, the likes of Jim and John and Glenn might get involved in running a little bit of the WWE UK side. Jim has recently quit doing full-time stand-up comedy to focus on wrestling full-time.
Wow.
So it could be a bit of a coincidence, who knows. But Progress, it's going to be great for them. But yeah, it's how it's going to affect the other smaller companies that's going to be interesting.
mixed bag.
Indeed.
Mixed bag with that announcement. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, on the positive, it means that we're going to get to potentially talk about more UK wrestlers on the podcast. But negative, probably going to have to do loads more podcasts. I say
mean,
negative.
It will be great to fire up the WWE app and just watch some UK indie guys. That would be cool. That would be very cool.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, it will be.
obviously, calling back to the last episode, with your interview with Josh, he was talking about Boar's WWE name.
Yeah.
So
because
is Boar on the roster?
he is. He had a dark match on night 2.
Right.
And he actually came out at the end when they were all on stage. He was there at the front left, looking very angry and very small. But yeah, night 2, there was a dark match between El Ligero, who's just called Ligero now in WWE. And on Wikipedia, they just called him Mike Hitchman. But Josh led us to believe that he was introduced as Wild Boar Mike Hitchman.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so exciting times. And Sam, if you're listening, which you will be, you better be. I know you don't watch an awful lot of the indies, apart from when you come to Riptide, but you're going to have to start now, mate. You're going to have to start. Moving on then from that announcement, which was cool, Johnny Saint, the new GM, as we mentioned, we had the semi-finals. First one was Flash Morgan Webster versus Zach Gibson, and then Travis Banks versus Joe Coffey. Again, any particular highlights from these?
The Flash Gibson one has such a fast start. Like Flash was out of the blocks.
I was hoping for a sort of Riddle, Trent Seven, Super Strong style match there. I was just like, go on, Flash. But no.
That's one of my favourite wrestling matches, that Trent Seven and Matt Riddle match.
Yeah, so cool. I just thought they're never going to do it in WWE, but it'd be amazing if they did. Especially like, as you say, the way Flash came out was just like so good.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the what they called the Helter Skelter from Gibson on the outside. That looked really good, the spinning suplex. Yeah. And obviously this match was more about sort of pushing Gibson, wasn't it, really?
Yeah.
Like putting him to the forefront as obviously he's going to be a top heel in WWE UK or NXT UK, sorry. Putting over Shankly Gates as well as a fearsome move. It doesn't look that bad, does it?
I don't mind it as a move in his repertoire. I hate it as a finisher.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah.
It just doesn't,
Especially for such a big guy like him.
Yeah,
You know?
put him like, you know, put that submission move against any of Zack Sabre Jr.'s, you know, and it's just like, come on, it's got to look like someone is really suffering and you are doing them damage. I'm not doubting that it hurts if someone probably put that stuff on you for real, but it just doesn't look that great.
Yeah, we'll do it next time we get together. We'll do it. But, It's a good name. It's a good name for him,
Yeah.
and but that's about it. Travis Banks, Joe Coffey.
This was
Coffey
brutal.
he looked really strong early days. I've never really thought much of him when I've seen him. At
No,
Progress.
me neither.
Yeah.
But it's been a long time since I have actually seen him wrestle, and he did look very good.
Yeah.
He was back in Progress, was it a few months ago, wasn't he?
I think he sort of makes sporadic appearances, but
Yeah, but I thought this
don't
match
see
was
much of him.
good.
Yeah, I thought.
Obviously, he's setting the sort of groundwork for the Banks injury that leads into the final.
Yeah.
But this was a really
Yeah.
good match.
It was. I was going to say they were. I think they were high on protecting both Joe Coffey and Travis Banks from their losses in this tournament, because they both played up injuries massively from previous bouts, didn't they?
Yeah, they
Like
did.
Joe Coffey.
Yeah,
Oh,
when
yeah.
Coffey walked
He
out.
did everything but have taping around his abdomen to like sell that that match from
Yeah, that's
Mastiff.
true.
Yeah, it did come down clutching it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Sort of slowly stagger into the ring.
Yeah. Banks obviously looked very good, and he is sort of cut out for WWE in a way, isn't he?
Oh, I think he
Like-
looked amazing throughout this tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's so good, Banks.
The one thing I wonder is if they're going to ask him to tone down like his grunting.
Yeah, only because.
I think it's part of it, though,
Yeah,
isn't it?
I think it's great, but Ronaldo did comment on it, didn't he?
Yeah, it is kind of good, but I don't know. It was so much more obvious and louder than everybody else's.
Yeah,
I know, but I
Not
think it
necessarily a
adds to
problem.
his like aggression.
It
doesn't
does.
It makes it.
totally.
Yeah.
I agree.
The one thing I find annoying at shows is when wrestlers do that and then the crowd mimic it, like to take the piss.
Yeah.
Is that funny? Anyway. God, I'm really laying into the crowd and whether or not they're funny. Do what you like, chant what you like. You pay the money, you can do whatever you like.
Oh, can we quickly talk about the crowd?
Yeah, do it.
I felt on night one they were quite subdued until the end, when the sort of regular NXT guys turned up. And obviously night two, it felt they were much more lively because there's a lot of
Kicked
NXT.
off with
Yeah.
yeah.
And it felt like the crowd was very much a mix. Actually, probably more leaning towards mainstream WWE fans and then
Yeah.
some indie fans.
Yeah, maybe. It's a shame because you really, like, especially with some of these guys, you know how over they are on the indies, and you wanted that to come across on TV.
Yeah. Well, I think you're right. There was definitely a hardcore group of indie fans and definitely Progress fans because they were trying to do a lot of the classic chants.
Yeah.
Some of them are working, some of them weren't. And then we also had the problem, and Dave Green got in touch, and we'll read out his message later. But we had the problem that a lot of it was muted by the network because of there being swearing or...
Yeah.
Like, for example, Travis Banks. Travis fucking Banks. We just heard it go, Travis. And there were a couple of times where they let it through, but there were a couple of times where it was blatantly muted. And
Yeah.
they removed stuff like that. So, PG era.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who was successful? Zach Gibson. He got through his final being Flash
Yeah.
Morgan Webster with the Shankly Gates, of course. And then Banks beat Joe Coffey with a roll-up to face Gibson in the final. And then, as we alluded to, Joe Coffey then got angry and beat up Travis Banks after the bell like a naughty boy. Coming up next was just an amazing match, in my opinion, between British Strong Style and Undisputed Era, possibly two of the greatest entrances in wrestling at the moment.
I mean, I think Undisputed Era has the best entrance music at the moment.
Oh, God, it's good.
And I love Kyle O'Reilly's air guitar on the belt.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
makes me so happy every time I see it.
Kyle O'Reilly doing the air guitar and then Adam Cole doing the boom on the side of the rings, just the coolest thing ever.
I think
Honestly.
Undisputed Era might be, as a stable, maybe the best, like, quality-wise of wrestlers ever. Like, they're all so good.
They are.
Ever.
Ever, honestly, like, quality-wise.
I know this is probably, I don't know if this is an unpopular take because I didn't really know much of Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly before. I know they have history, so therefore them being the tag team was a good thing. But I love Roddy Strong, and seeing him with Kyle O'Reilly as like, as that tag team within Undisputed.
It's worked.
Yeah.
It's worked really
They're
well,
so
hasn't
good.
it? Yeah.
Roderick Strong's
I
one of my
agree.
favourite wrestlers. I think he's so good.
Yeah.
Kyle O'Reilly is, I think, I wrote this down, but obviously at the moment we're just going over the top, but I'm going to read it out anyway, because I said Kyle O'Reilly is my favourite wrestler in the world at the moment. Because not only is he cool and funny and charismatic, but he's just a great wrestler. Like the stuff he does on the mat, he's the facial expressions, honestly,
His strikes
everything.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I read somewhere that somebody said that he reminds them of like an early Daniel Bryan, which I think is true.
Yeah, I'd go
He
with
has
that.
a lot of similarities, and he's very
Travis
popular.
Banks reminds me a lot of Daniel Bryan as well.
Yeah. And then obviously British Strong Style. I mean,
Yes. At last, seeing them together.
Yeah.
yeah, so good. But such an entrance again with the two of them rolling into the ring.
Yeah.
The stuff they do with the towels, and then obviously Pete Dunne doing his classic fist to jaw. Yeah, bloody good. And then this match.
Oh, amazing. I've wrote a note down.
Oh, that's good. Good for
I
you.
wrote it down. Yeah, one note. The same note for night 1 and night 2. Tyler Bate is very, very, very strong.
Yes.
What a strong
Is
boy.
he Cesaro level strong? Because I think he is. There's
Yeah,
I think
he's up there.
yeah.
Definitely.
You don't see Cesaro picking up two people and swinging them around.
Yeah.
I
it's
don't know. Have
insane.
you?
And also,
Well,
was
maybe-
it?
I'm sure
this
he probably
one-
has, but-
Maybe it was the second night when he did that sort of backpack suplex.
Yes.
Fuck yes. That was so good.
Yeah. Tyler Bate is so good. Like in
Just watching that move made all the blood vessels in my face burst.
yeah.
Oh my god, I hate to think what you look like now. You're going to be wearing a full mask.
Yeah, it's balaclava season for John at the moment.
Yeah. What I wanted to say is that this match contained one of the most iconic images that I've seen in the last few years. And again, this really is hyperbole and really going over the top, but I really felt this when British Strong Style started getting the crowd pumped, and Trent was like kicking the ropes, and they were all, and the crowd got so loud. I got goosebumps for that, and it was amazing. So good. Just absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
It's a great match. Really fun.
Yeah, really good match. Loads of good stuff. Loads of great sequences. Dunne doing his moonsault to the outside. That looked good.
Oh, quickly.
Trent selling like a boss.
Oh, Trent Pete Dunne's beard.
Yeah.
Yay or nay?
Absolutely no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It
don't
looks
think
awful, doesn't
I
it?
hate the way it looks, but I hate that
I
it
do.
takes him away from the Peaky Blinders look.
Yeah.
Because the Peaky Blinders look is just so spot on. This takes him more American Grizzly Adams look.
Yeah, it's just, I don't think it's not very good quality beard, is it?
It's very
I mean, I
gingery, isn't it?
can't talk.
Wispy.
Yeah, it's wispy and gingery, and then, you've already got Trent who's got an incredible beard.
Yeah.
I often think Tyler doesn't need to mess around with the beard that much, but yeah, no need, Pete, no need. But again, do what you like. Who am I to judge? Anyway, let's judge some wrestling matches.
Yeah, final. Should we talk about the final?
Yeah. Just wondering if there's anything left from that match. I just wanted to say that it was clearly a sort of a cut above everything else we'd seen, but do you think that's just because they were favourites? Everybody knew about them already, and they are some of the top talents in the world?
Yeah.
And all the other matches were really short
Yeah.
because they had to be to fit them in.
I think it was interesting actually seeing Trent and Tyler in this sort of setup, because obviously kind of the first time we really saw them was in the tournament last year, and seeing how far they've come.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're naturals, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. Especially Tyler Bate. He looks, in the ring particularly, just...
Yeah. And he's so
good.
young.
Yeah.
I just find it a
Huge.
little weird. Not weird, because I think it's great when he is, but it's just odd seeing Trent not, goof about in a match.
Yeah.
Because, whenever we see him now, he's more like fun times.
Yeah,
Trent.
exactly. Yeah, that I'm sure we'll see some of that.
Yeah.
And you see a little bit of that when he does his promos and his interviews, which is good because Tyler isn't great on that side of things, is he? But
No.
he'll improve.
Yeah, definitely.
So after the match, Shawn Michaels came out with his weird short hair, which looks like he's got a ponytail from the front, and he hasn't when he turns around. And he did a little promo and introduced the main event of the night, which was, of course, the final of the UK Championship tournament for a shot at the WWE. No, what is it? Yeah, WWE UK Championship. God, So many words. Zach Gibson versus Travis Banks. Travis obviously coming into this with the shoulder injury or strapped up. Something for Gibson to focus on.
Yeah.
Early doors. Obviously echoes from the first UK tournament when Tyler Bate had the injury that he took into the final.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realise that.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, much better pacing because they had longer.
Yeah, it's really fast, really hard hitting.
Yeah.
As you'd expect from these two wrestlers, actually, especially Travis Banks, quite stiff. There was that great Banks slice of heaven off the barrier, which looked so good.
Yes. I think this was the match where, you know, they'd gone outside like a typical WWE match. You know, like there was that whole sequence, you know, on the barricades and outside, and it was funny because like we see them elsewhere go outside the ring, but this was the bit where it really felt WWE. And seeing these guys, you know, execute it brilliantly, but doing that WWE thing.
Gibson was incredible effort from both of them to have 3 matches in one night, and when we said could easily have just had the you know, one of them the semi or the final the following night, but Gibson was doing all his classic like huffing when he gets his shoulders going up and down when he's in a bad mood, and he's doing the sort of the loud breathing. I think he just plays the heel perfectly.
Yeah.
And I'm genuinely pretty chuffed for him because even though I said we weren't massive fans of him as a wrestler, you know, he's one of the, you know, sort of biggest influences in the UK scene at the moment. Obviously, he's got his training school with James Drake, and he's a very important figure, and it's nice for him to get his chance.
He's had a great year as well. Like.
And I mean, as I said, like I think he has a lot more than we've seen in his locker with regards to in-ring, because I think that first match of the night with Jack Gallagher showed that there is more to him, and I reckon, and I'm hoping that more of that's going to come out in, you know, NXT UK.
Yeah, true. Okay, so Gibson came out on top, and he would face Pete Dunne on the following night.
I have to say, I was genuinely gutted about the result of this match. I really wanted Banks to win it.
I knew Gibson was going to win it.
I did.
Early on, I just thought that he's going to be the one. It just felt like, I think from social media before the tournament and everything, it just felt like Gibson was where they were going with this tournament.
Unfortunately, I'd managed to see a spoiler online somewhere. I saw a picture of him squaring up to Pete Dunne during the week in the Royal Albert Hall ring. So
yeah, I think I saw that as well.
Yeah,
still
annoying,
gutted, though.
Annoying. But I think I would have guessed that Travis would have won it if I'd had to predict before. But it's cool. It's cool that Gibson got picked, I think.
Yeah. Plus, you know, Travis is still Progress champ, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Until that Wembley show.
I wouldn't think.
He's
exactly.
a fighting champ as well, so he's too busy, you know.
God, he's running out of people to fight. There's hardly anyone left in Progress for him to fight. But anyway, that's a story for another day. So he didn't make it to the final, but Zach Gibson did, and we will talk about that and the rest of night 2, or the whole of night 2, after this.
Oh my God! X-Plex on the side of the ring!
Okay, then night 2 kicked off, as we said, with a dark match between El Ligero and Wild Boar. But the first match that we saw, and the reason for the crowd being so much more up for it, we reckon, was Moustache Mountain versus Undisputed Era. Now, we have been doing a lot of bigging up this event and a lot of these matches, but this, for me, is one of the best matches I've seen for a long, long time, because not only the quality of the wrestlers, but the quality of the characters and the venue and the way that the crowd were loving it. I just thought this was incredible, this match. And the result, of course, something that I was not expecting at all.
This was the best match of the 2 nights, I'd say.
Yeah. This is, for me, this is a 5-star match. Because what more do you want, really?
That's tricky. I'd say it's 4.75.
Okay.
All right, Meltzer.
Yeah.
I just think I went to write that down, and I thought,
Actually, you're right. It's a 5-star match.
I think a lot of it is
Yeah.
It's the bias again. It's like when Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate had their match at TakeOver, and a lot of it was almost like the pride of being like, yeah, come on, lads, you're showing the world what you can do.
Yeah.
And it was similar here. The fact that they won the titles, and again, I'd seen a little spoiler. I'd seen a picture of them with belts, and I'd assumed they were NXT UK tag team belts. I had no idea they'd actually won the full NXT tag titles. That is so good.
It was a really great moment, especially like seeing him celebrating the crowd.
Yeah,
that was great. Tyler Bate just continues to get better as well and do more, doesn't he? I know he's young, but it just continually does more astounding stuff in the ring.
Yeah.
Like, has your jaw dropping? And I know we mentioned the points in this match a little bit earlier, but just like unreal ability.
Yeah, and even though he has a few spots that he does every time, he seems to almost be better at them.
Yeah.
I know he does that spot off the ropes with his shoulders, but God, I love that spot.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks so good. And I think there was a bit, obviously Trent took the punishment early on,
Yeah.
didn't he? And then the hot tag. They had a missed tag where O'Reilly pulled Tyler down off the apron.
Yeah.
And then the hot tag. And when Tyler came in then, the pace that he was going at and his immense strength, it was just incredible.
This may sound a little patronising as well, but it was great for Trent, I think, because obviously he's been on the indie scene for such a long time to sort of get this recognition. It was really cool. It was very cool.
Yeah, a bit patronising, but no, I agree.
Yeah,
and of course,
awesome.
Sam's not here, and Sam doesn't rate Trent, but I mean, okay, maybe he's not the best wrestler out of those four, but the all-round package, he's great.
I think Trent's one of those great wrestlers that makes everyone he wrestles against look great.
Yeah, totally.
And he's one of the funniest wrestlers you'll see. Like,
Can we
definitely
take a little moment for the ref and his leap for a count in this?
Oh
match
yeah,
as well?
what was that? He like leaped
That
over
was
them into the corner. I was like, what are you
amazing.
doing? Just get
Towards
down there
the
and count
camera
3, you
as well.
bastard. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I saw that as a GIF on Twitter, and somebody had written, "When your girlfriend comes to watch you ref," just totally showing off.
It was.
I love it when they do that. They've got to get involved as well.
Oh yeah, it totally hyped up that count.
Yeah. But honestly, a real goosebumps moment. And even though I knew that they won the titles from the photo, like I said, didn't know they were the NXT ones, and I still popped massively for this. I just absolutely loved it. The whole thing, the crowd were going crazy, and they were so happy. And after their injury, missing out on the Dusty Road Classic, they deserve it. They really do.
I just
deserve
really
it. That chant
hope
was
they
correct.
don't lose the belts on like the next NXT show or something like that.
Yeah, you're right. This podcast is going out Thursday morning, and NXT will have aired.
Yeah.
They probably don't have the belts in.
If they can hold on to it until the next takeover, that would be amazing. But if they lose it on like a NXT TV match,
Yeah.
then it would just be feel a bit throwaway.
I don't know if what I'd seen was correct, but I'm not sure they still have them. I think I saw
Brett.
something intimating towards that.
Brett.
Yeah.
Why did you have to do this?
I know, I've deflated us. The moment.
Kill my buzz, yeah.
I could be totally wrong, because what I had seen on social media wasn't like a clear spoiler or anything, but it read like that.
Yeah. Well, I was interested because obviously, Triple H said there's going to be a tag division for NXT UK and there's going to be a women's division. So, how does that work? They're all going for the NXT belts?
Yeah, so this is my thing, because I obviously I want to see the UK thing going. Is it just a tour? So I get confused with what
we don't know
American
yet,
talent might come over, or whether
it's a completely separate thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a separate thing. You've got to assume that, and the likes of Jack Gallagher and Noam Dar, who we're going to get to talk about, are going to be appearing fairly regularly.
No, I think there's positives to that, but for me, a negative is will this take Pete Dunne away from matches with some of those guys on main NXT and then with the potential step up to there's like matches he's had which I want to see continue, and I'm not sure whether that's going to be the case.
I think they're definitely trying to progress Pete Dunne certainly onto the main roster of NXT.
Yeah. You've got to hope that he's done enough to not then be dropped back. All these other guys need their chance to show what they can do. Pete Dunne doesn't need that. You've got to hope that he's going to stick around on NXT.
He's massively
I think he'll
popular
do the
with
odd
that crowd as well, the NXT crowd.
I'm sure he'll headline the odd show. and he might even do the tours.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't think he won't be on NXT.
No,
in
which
the US
would
as well.
be the best scenario.
Yeah,
is to not
definitely.
like totally. I think for me, it's like if they totally separate it and have these two things running along, then like while it's great for some, overall I think it wouldn't be great. But
no. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But an amazing match, and the celebrating with the fans, as you said, John, was a really nice touch at the end. And then we had a quick break where we had the Johnny Saint promo with Glenn Joseph asking the question, as I said. And we then had a match which we will pretty much skirt over between Kelly Kelly and Charlie Morgan. Just to say quickly, I think it's good for Charlie. She's been doing loads in the UK and doing well recently. And obviously she's got her match with Flash Morgan Webster at International Waters at Riptide coming up on Friday. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
yeah,
Kelly Kelly, don't know much about, but
Look
I
good
think
though.
we should probably just move on.
Look good.
Yeah, she did. We then had a triple threat match, which was supposed to be a triple threat match between Mark Andrews, Travis Banks and Flash Morgan Webster to see who would become the number one contender to the UK Championship. But then Johnny Saint came out, and in his words, he said it was going to turn into a 4-man fatal match.
yes,
Great start, Johnny. Really well done. So it turned into a fatal 4-way because Noam Dar came out, and oh my God, he's jacked to shit and brown. So
That
brown.
seems to be the way in WWE. You go out for an
Yeah.
injury for a few months and you come back super jacked.
Yeah, just spend all the time in the gym, and on the tanning beds.
I thought
But, I mean,
he felt
he
like a
looks
bit of
great.
an odd man out in this match, though. Do you not think? I feel like the other three have wrestled each other so much, have such great chemistry in the ring. Whenever he got involved with anything, it just felt a bit awkward and stop-starty.
yeah. I thought this match, sort of all in all, was a bit stop-starty, and it wasn't anywhere near as good as I know that these guys can be.
Yeah,
And
had
I
a
was
problem with this
expecting
one.
more from it.
yeah. I had a weird problem with this one when I was watching it because I was watching it live on the network, but a little bit behind, and at one point it just skipped forward and I couldn't go back, so I missed sort of half of this match. But what I did see, I thought felt fun, was fun, and it kind of it had a real indie feel to it.
It did, yeah.
As you'd expect, obviously.
Yeah,
But I'm happy about Noam Dar because I really used to love him in the early days of Progress, and he's done some quite cool stuff in 205 in the early days. But then he did that Alexa. Who was it?
Alicia Fox.
Alicia Fox stuff. Yeah, which wasn't too.
She
good,
turned up,
but,
didn't she, this week in Raw?
Did she?
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, after that number one contenders match, we had the NXT North American Championship match between Wolfgang. I was wondering if you're going to do any howls. And Adam Cole.
there's your answer,
Yeah.
baby.
There
you go.
The thing about this is, in my head, I think Wolfgang is shit because he just looks like a bingo hall wrestler, doesn't he? But he is actually
He's good.
far more talented.
Yeah.
Than that. He's actually quite good. But
He is good. I think we'd probably be higher on him if like he'd come from Japan, like not by being
This big
Japanese.
Scottish guy.
No, but not being Japanese.
would be
but like if
annoying,
he'd have
yeah.
been in New Japan or something and come out, like he feels like he's got like the war, War Machine. I won't say Raiders.
well, you have
Sort of, look, vibe, ability. He is really good. But I just think, if he had sort of that coming over, then I'd probably be higher on him because he is really good.
Yeah, agreed. But yeah, this match was okay, wasn't it? But it was just I didn't feel invested in it at all because it's like, why is this actually happening?
Yeah, I actually skipped this match because I thought there's no way Adam Cole's going to lose the belt to Wolfgang.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. Okay, well, moving on to the next match, which was more of an exhibition of the top talent at NXT at the moment, where we had Velveteen Dream and EC3 versus Ricochet and Aleister Black, 4 guys who are just killing it at the moment, aren't they, really?
Yeah.
I mean, EC3 maybe a slight step below because he hasn't had as many matches yet. But
he's
Velveteen
super
Dream-
muscly.
oh god, he's seriously.
Super.
Everyone loves Velveteen Dream, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
love him.
He's so good.
He's so good.
He's such a great character.
Yeah, and that ripping the shirt off to reveal the Aleister Black t-shirt.
Yeah,
Such a great moment.
amazing.
He's come such a long way as well in such a short time.
Yeah. The funny thing about this match is that we had the "This is awesome" chant before they'd actually done any wrestling. I say funny, a bit weird,
Yeah.
but you can understand people being pumped for it. Did you hear the VAR chant?
I did. I thought it was VAR. I was like, what are they... Is that
Yeah.
VAR they're chanting?
Is that a World Cup chant? Yeah, I guess the World Cup had only just started around then,
Yeah.
hadn't it?
I think that was on a tag that the ref didn't see, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's quite good. Very topical. But yeah, what do you think? It was a good match, as you'd expect.
Yeah, it was fun.
Loads
Really
of
good.
decent
Yeah.
sequences. Yeah, we had the Ricochet neckbreaker DDT combo. I thought was pretty sweet. Then there was this big sequence in the middle with loads of really, really stiff kicks,
Yeah.
and finishing off with a knee from Aleister Black.
I mean, all these four guys are great. They really are.
I did actually really enjoy the fact that EC3, you know, at that end sequence, like when Velveteen walked off, and he just stood there for ages. Like, he milked that moment, and I think he waited like longer than anyone, including Aleister Black, expected him to, before like he finally like pulled the face and then went to turn around, and then
Black Mass. Yeah, that was amusing.
That was pro.
Yeah, so Aleister Black and Ricochet won that one. And the next match was the NXT Women's Championship match. Toni Storm had obviously won the match the night before to become the number one contender. And she came in to face Shayna Baszler. Shayna's improving, isn't she?
She's such a great, cocky, arrogant heel. Like, you see her in the ring, you're like, God, I hate you. You're such an arsehole.
Yeah,
absolutely. Toni Storm, of course, one of the best in the business. Really, like, by far and away one of my favourite women wrestlers. I think she could slot into the main roster pretty easily.
Yeah, I think she's top dog.
Yeah,
There's quite early on in this match, there's this great escape where she's just sort of got her leg around Shayna, sort of span around. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Also, the Tope Suicido where she smashed Shayna in the nose and made her bleed was good as well.
I really like the bit where that other girl made that other girl bleed. It was really good.
I want more blood, Adam.
I'm going to cut myself now, John. Oh shit, you can't see me. Oh god, it's streaming everywhere. Baszler, that went a bit weird. Didn't it? It did go. It's really hot in my office where I'm doing this pod, guys. It's really hot. And all this blood is pouring out because it's so hot. I'm going to bleed out. We need to finish the podcast. Who won? Shayna Baszler won.
I really like the finish as well. The sort of Coquina clutch to the outside and Storm not being able to get back in.
The count out.
I thought that was cool. I thought it was a good finish.
Yeah, it was a bit different.
Yeah.
And a lot of people tend to have problems with count out finishes, but this one was done, well.
It works with the character of Shayna. I think it works really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, and then we had the main event, the final of the WWE UK Championship Tournament. No, that's bollocks. We had that the night before. This was a UK Championship match between the winner of the tournament, Zach Gibson, and Pete Dunne. Again, when Gibson came down, I thought, here we go. Here it is. We're getting a promo. This is going to happen. And I wondered, do you think maybe they're worried that Americans wouldn't get it or wouldn't understand his accent? Or, I mean, why wouldn't you do that?
Oh, yeah, they would. Things? If you watch American stuff, even when there's like hardly any accent there, they subtitle it. And I just think, why are they subtitle it? It's like easy to understand, but I can imagine. So, you know, they definitely subtitle Gibson. Yeah,
it's just we talked about it earlier. But it does seem strange that they wouldn't give him a chance, even for a short promo.
Yeah,
I mean, his video interviews were good, but let him do it in the ring so that the American audience can see the heat that he gets from the crowd. It'd be amazing. Anyway, the match itself really hard hitting from the start. I thought.
Yeah.
Quite amusing chant at the start. The shoes off if you hate Gibson.
Yeah, that was so good. Everyone waving their shoe in the air.
Yeah. Then the UK NXT chant was going well as well.
Yeah.
One thing I've noted that throughout the performances from Zach Gibson in each of his matches, I think the Ticket to Ride, the lung blower, looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It looks pretty nasty.
Yeah, that's a better finisher.
Yeah. That is a finisher.
Yeah, it looks great. the tombstone swing up. Yeah, it looks so good.
Yeah.
Also loved his what Avalanche Helter Skelter did in this match. That looked great.
Yeah, it was just a really good showing for all in all from Zach Gibson.
Yeah.
And this is one of his best matches, I think. I mean, it helps that it was
Pete Dunne.
Probably one of his biggest matches. But yeah, and also Pete Dunne was involved. Yeah. So versatile, Pete Dunne, isn't he? He can do literally anything and everything.
Yeah, strikes, flips, everything.
Yeah, does he look like he's like hitting more shape as well? Like getting into shape?
Yeah,
I thought he was looking more buff.
Definitely.
I agree.
Great
he's losing the bruiserweight part.
Yeah. I think all of them were probably like, I mean, when you started saying that, Brad, I got confused actually. I thought you were talking about Zach Gibson because I think he's got a bit more sort of shape to him now. And I imagine a lot of the UK indie guys would have been like, shit, I'm going to be on telly. Let's put in the extra hours in the gym. But yeah, Dunne went on to win it. I kind of think that was never in doubt. Did you guys think Gibson
totally
was going to win?
he was going to lose. I didn't see the point of having this whole tournament and then have him win. I was so convinced Gibson was going to win.
I wasn't. I thought Pete Dunne is so over and he's held the title. I know, like, you know, he's not had that many matches because it's a UK belt, but like he's held it for so long and he's so over and they're totally behind him, and I can see why, because, you know, he's awesome. So I didn't see it happening. The only way I saw it happening is if, you know, with these scenarios that Gibson has a big cheating moment that, you know, the ref doesn't see or someone helps him out, you know. Like, I could see that way, but not a clean win. Yeah,
that's what I thought. Gibson is just not well known enough yet, in a way, to come and just steal it like that. I don't know. I'm sure it'll happen. It's got to happen at some point because he's had it for a long, long time.
How about this for an idea? WWE do a battle of the title reigns, Brock versus Dunne.
Yes.
Well, I'd love that.
Let's see that.
I would absolutely love that.
Would you, though?
That's a great idea.
It'd be a 3-minute match. Brock would do a couple of Germans and go home.
Yeah, if it just squashed Pete Dunne, then no thanks.
Yeah, okay, scrap that idea. So yes, as I said, Pete Dunne was the winner and retains the championship, and we will see what happens to that championship moving forward on NXT UK or NXT standard version. It'd be exciting to see what happens. Shortly after that, we had the NXT UK roster come out to the stage with Triple H and Johnny Saint. A couple of people I spotted there that we hadn't seen. Obviously, you know, everybody who'd made an appearance on the show on both nights was there, but I also spotted Ginny, who we hadn't seen because of the injury. Eddie Dennis was standing at the back.
Yeah, he's got a contract, hasn't he?
No way.
How good is that?
Yeah, I had seen that on Twitter or whatnot, that he does have a contract with them as well.
Amazing.
So yeah, he should be on the UK stuff too.
I've never really seen him wrestle. I'm looking forward to his match versus Mambo. Is it International Waters? Yeah, I've never seen him wrestle.
Yeah, it is.
Really?
It just hasn't worked out well with his injury.
Yeah. What's he like?
The timing and stuff.
No, he's good. He is really. I think he'll be even better now.
I think he's one like Mambo that I sort of, for ages, I just carried my memories of him in the early days when he used to wrestle with Mark Andrews all the time, and Mark Andrews looked so much better in my opinion. And Dennis just looked like a teacher because that's exactly what he was, and he wasn't in great shape.
No, but he still did great stuff. Like I think ring-wise, repertoire, he's good. But yeah, he had that, didn't he? Like wear dragon stuff because, you know, Welsh as well for a bit on Progress, didn't he? Early days, and like it was good matches, but yeah, he didn't have sort of the whole package. But now, you know, like his character and everything is so elevated. You know, he's obviously training full time, so I think he's going to be a revelation.
Yeah, hope so. And then I also saw Nina Samuels. She's going to be part of the women's division. It'll be interesting to see how many they add. I think they've got about 18 of them at the moment. Obviously, Joe Coffey's brother is going to be part of the
I had no idea Joe Coffey had a brother.
No, I didn't either. But so there you go. So all in all, I mean, let's face it. It was quite a struggle in a way to try and fit it all in and watch
6 hours in 2 days.
Yeah. I mean, we did think about doing this podcast next week, but then we realised we'd be 2 weeks behind. So we put the hours in for everybody, and all in all, it was a great event.
Yeah.
Like I said, I had a 5-star match for me, and the Undisputed Era match the night before was bloody good as well. So, seriously good.
It was better than last year's as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, as I said, it's just putting the whole tournament on one night for me. Like the Cruiserweight Classic, because it was, I know it's easier for them because they're filming where they do and they can do it over time. But like there were so many great matches in each sort of round for that. And it just felt like because they did it in a day, they were just rushed. Were some potential, like, you know, real matches that could show these guys to be as great as they are, but they didn't have the time to do that.
Yeah, and they had the space because on night 2 they only had one match from the tournament. So, you know, anyway, let's finish on a high. It was really good.
It was great.
And there were some great matches.
If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Right, let's do some listener comments. I put the message out on Twitter, and obviously because of the timing, we only got one reply because I guess a lot of people haven't got around to watching it on the network yet. So, John, who did get in touch?
Who did get in touch, Adam? It was Dave Green got in touch as our roving reporter at the event.
Thank you, Dave.
He said, it's a shame the network feels they have to be so PG as some of the chants were a bit on the blue side, and so they dubbed over them. There were moments through the show where those less familiar to the majority of the crowd got less response, but not to the extent shown on tape.
That's interesting. I wonder if that was the case with Ashton Smith then, because he got no response.
do you think that's why? I think it's because
maybe they're all. He's got a chant where it's like
just C-bombs.
Yeah, Ashton Smith is fucking brilliant. I was going to say the C-bomb, but I don't think we've said it on this pod yet. So
let's save it for a special occasion
for when Sam's back.
He also said, I was up in the choir section behind the screen, so couldn't see the names come up, but I was behind the commentary, and it was fun to see them work. Atmosphere was incredible for British Strong Style and Undisputed Era. Felt very old when HBK mentioned him being in the first WWE match at Royal Albert Hall in 1991, as I was there. Oh, wow, that'd be amazing to see HBK at the Royal Albert Hall.
Dave Green. Wow. Surely you were only a tiny baby.
Yeah. Tell us about that match. Get him back in touch. I want to know about that match. What was it like seeing HBK at Royal Albert Hall? Who was he fighting against? What was the result? What was the finish? Runtime.
Do an hour podcast for us. We'll put it out. That'd be amazing. Well, thanks, Dave, for getting in touch. Anybody else who wants to tell us anything else about the event, then do still get in touch. We won't put it on the pod, but we're interested to hear your thoughts on it as well. If you do want to get in touch, let's do this now, Brett. I'm going to put you on the spot.
There we go.
If you do want to get in touch, how do you do it?
We are hardestpartofthering@gmail.com for email, or we are at hardestpartpod on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. And
fantastic.
We have a shop, which is hardestpartofthering.bigcartel.com.
Hey.
Wow.
Get some of those cool t-shirts.
Yeah, and Brett, we've got another t-shirt design, haven't we?
We do. And I was going to mention that the last pod, are we going to say it? But then I forgot. We just got into interviewing.
Yeah. Well, we are going to be off next week because we've done loads of pods and we're just going to wait for Sam to be a bit less busy and stuff like that. So next podcast will be the week after next. And should we say it now? There will be a new t-shirt.
Ooh.
Yes.
And once again, it is another great t-shirt that hopefully just any wrestling fan will like. It doesn't say, listen to Hardest Part of the Ring podcast. It doesn't have our faces on it, which is a real shame.
Yeah, I mean, come on, guys. There's so many rubbish, like just wrestling t-shirts and podcast
so many
t-shirts.
bad ones.
This is so cool. It looks great.
It's top quality. And as I made very clear on the last podcast, it is very soft. So yes, go and buy it. The podcast that we're going to do in a couple of weeks is going to be a Hardest Part of the Ring rewind episode. We did one a few weeks ago for No Way Out 2000, and we let Sam pick because he missed that episode, and he has picked ECW One Night Stand 2006.
I can't wait for this.
Yeah, these are really fun to go back and watch. These
I really enjoy them.
Pay-per-views. Yeah, so we've got that coming up in 2 weeks, and then the week after that we'll have our Extreme Rules review. So back at it. Does that make sense? Yeah, we'll go with it. But yeah, fine. That's it then, basically. One thing I wanted just to say before we go, Did you see SmackDown last night?
No.
Okay, well, I'm going to spoil one thing. Right at the end, after Daniel Bryan's match, the Bludgeon Brothers were there.
Oh, I think I did see this. But...
Kane turned up, and they've reformed Team Hell No.
Team Hell... They're having a match at Extreme Rules, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I wish Sam was here, because I know he loved Team Hell No.
Yeah, I did see a picture of it, and
yeah,
it was weird
seeing them hugging.
Yeah, and Kane's still there, isn't he?
Yeah, but for the first time, maybe ever for me, I was happy to see Kane.
Yes,
because they're a good team.
He's adding to those pay-per-view stats.
Yeah, exactly. Oh God. Okay, that's it. Thanks for listening, everybody. Please review, rate, subscribe, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Until then, it's goodbye from me, Adam. Goodbye from John.
Goodbye.
And goodbye from Brett.
Cheerio.
That was the hardest part of the ring.
Me again. I'm here because Adam fucked up and forgot to mention the Riptide poster giveaway. If you'd like to win some sweet Riptide posters, just retweet our Riptide interview tweet. The guys will pick a winner on the next pod. Easy.